Hello guys and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. First of all, sorry this video is a bit late. Obviously I'm putting this out and recording it on Friday, and Arsenal played Nottingham Forest on Tuesday, getting a 2-1 win. I did want to do a match review a bit earlier, but I didn't. Obviously the game finished quite late on Tuesday, and Wednesday I was completely busy. So I thought instead of doing it Thursday, I'll just add it into the Liverpool preview today. So we'll just quickly discuss the Nottingham Forest game and then move on to the Liverpool preview. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So Tuesday night, obviously away at Forest. It's been a little bit of a bogey ground for us in recent times. Arsenal went to Nottingham Forest, put on a very dominant display, 1-2-1, and it was a game that was frustrating for large parts of it. Boring, some would say. But, and you know, my initial reaction, I was quite annoyed at the performance, but now I look back and, you know, I feel a bit differently towards it. You know, it was a game Arsenal completely dominated from start to finish. In the first half, it felt like we had the ball the entire half. It was almost like a training session of attack versus defence. And, you know, I was getting a bit frustrated, thinking we're just not creating chances, we're not looking very fluid, etc. But then, you know, we did create the odd opening here and there, and I feel like maybe a better pass or, you know, better timed shot, and, you know, might have caused more problems and been a better opening. I thought our set pieces were quite disappointing, considering that's one of our strengths and one of Nottingham Forest's weaknesses. I believe they were saying that they've conceded the most in the league, or, you know, somewhere up there anyway, whereas we've scored the most in the league. But I don't think we really troubled them much in that sense. So it was quite a frustrating game. In the first half, Gabriel Jesus was driving me crazy in the first half. I felt like he kept going here, there and everywhere instead of being where we needed him to. But, you know, that is Jesus' game. But then come the second half, you know, more of the same, more dominance. We create a massive chance, sort of down the right, goes to Odegaard. He puts Jesus in. Guy's about 5 yards out and he hits the post. And then you start to think, is it going to be one of them days, especially with the subs that Forest had to bring on. They'd already brought on Awani at half-time, who's a real handful, and obviously ends up getting Forest's goal at the end. Then I looked at it and thought they've still got a Langa and a Callum Hudson-Odoi on their on their bench, sorry. So that could be an avenue where if we don't score and we end up getting desperate, they could end up hitting us on the break and it ends up a 1-0 game, and you think, how the fuck have we lost that? And that's sort of how I started to see it maybe going. But then thankfully we did find the breakthrough, which did come from Gabriel Jesus. And I feel like this game completely summed up Gabriel Jesus. You saw the best and the worst of him. You know, he was incredible for most of the game. You know, he was getting involved. As a pure football player, he's probably the best at the club, I think. Like, when everyone's on it and everyone's on song and they're playing their best, I'd say as a pure football player, I'd say it'd be between him, Odegaard and probably Partey as the three best at Arsenal. But he can do some incredible things. There was a point in the second half, he's got the ball in the box, flicked it over some geezer's head, and then he's hit the volley, but he's lashed it over the bar. I mean, saw a lot of people saying, oh, he's got scored out or hit the target. It was a bit of a tough chance, I'd say, because he's got to wait for it to drop perfectly to be able to hit that on target. And when you've got a man steaming in, you've probably got to hit it a little bit earlier than you'd ideally like, and now obviously send it over the bar. But then the goal he does score, you know, good throw in from Zinchenko down the line, took it quite quick. And he's at an angle where, you know, he shouldn't even be shooting. And somehow with his left foot, he's put it through Turner's legs into the goal. And then we're 1-0 up. I mean, you know, Forest fans, and I'm sure a lot of fans will point to Matt Turner saying he has to save it, and he does. Like, he's had an absolute mare at Forest, and how we got any money for him, I don't know. If anything, we should have been paying Forest 10 million to take him, if not more. He's been really, really poor at Forest. Not that I watch Forest week in, week out, but when you do watch him, you see how poor he is. And then, you know, once we go 1-0 up, the game opens up. We end up scoring another goal through a counter-attack. Jesus with the assist, getting the ball 3-on-3. Plays the pass. I think Kai Havertz done really well to jump over the ball and not try and take it on himself. Goes to Saka, one touch with his weaker right foot, and then bangs it in with his right foot into the bottom corner. And then from then it was pretty much game over, to be honest. But we obviously wouldn't be Arsenal without having a little bit of a nervy moment. We let them back in the game with about 5 minutes to go, I think it was. a long ball over the top. And I've seen a lot of people getting onto Zinchenko about this, and I do agree to an extent. You know, he's not in line with his other three defenders, which plays the guy on side. Then the guy wins the header. I mean, I don't think Zinchenko could have really stopped the header, but, you know, if he keeps the line with the rest of the team, probably doesn't happen. Guy headers it back across goal, and then you've got to put bulk of the blame on Saliba. I know he's been pretty faultless this season, but, you know, he goes for the headers, one he should win. A little nudge in the back from Awani, and, you know, he's not won the header, and then he does Awani has a tap in, and then that makes a little bit of a nervy end for us. So, but, you know, we did see it out at the end of the day. And that goal conceded ended up in Ben White and Zinchenko having words after the game. Arteta had to get involved and, you know, sort of calm it down. And to be honest, I don't mind that. I want them to hold each other accountable, and I want them to demand more off each other. As long as it's done in the right way, ain't a problem. But yeah, big 3 points, and we needed it because, you know, Liverpool and City both had given games that they were both going to win. Liverpool smashed Chelsea, easy game for them. And City had an easy game in Burnley as well. So we had the hardest game of the lot, I'd say, which I know sounds crazy when Liverpool did have Chelsea, but Chelsea aren't the same anymore. And especially at Anfield, it was always going to be an easy rollover, in my opinion, and it was. So now this takes us on to the big game on Sunday, Liverpool at the Emirates, 4:30 kickoff. And look, if we want any chance of being in this title conversation for as long as possible, we have to win. I don't think a draw does much for us, as Liverpool are currently 5 points ahead of us. I think we need to take a chunk out of Liverpool. They've only lost one game all season, and I think personally we have to beat them. City play on Monday. They've got Brentford away. I think it's away anyway. Will be a tough game, but again, the game you expect City to win. So we have to keep up the pace. Like I said, I think we need to win every game up until we play City on, I think it's match day 30 of the season, and see where we are come then. So really big game for Arsenal, and, you know, and Liverpool, because Liverpool know if they beat us, then we're 100% out of it. And then that's one team less to worry about. So it's going to be huge. I mean, you look at some of the positives is that Salah more than likely won't play. Well, they're saying he's not going to play, but to be honest, would it surprise you if he plays? But, you know, they do have a lot of their best players back. There was rumours that Trent might miss it. He's back fit. Robertson's back fit. Konate and Van Dijk will be there. So, and their front three, Jota's come in and he's playing amazing. So since Salah's gone out of the team, they've not really missed him. They've all been scoring goals. So going to be a tough game. But I'll look more at it from Arsenal's point of view and how we can win this game. And look, when you look at the game at the Emirates, we've played Liverpool twice this season, obviously. One in the FA Cup, one at Anfield. At Anfield, we played really well, and I'll take a draw at Anfield all day long. Didn't really give them much, and, you know, 1-1 was probably fair in the end. But when they come to the Emirates in the FA Cup and somehow we lost 2-0, we battered them that some game. I mean, look, they didn't have Salah, they didn't have Van Dijk, and that does make a big difference. So Van Dijk being back in this team for Sunday will make a huge difference to Liverpool and make them definitely a tougher team to break down. But if we play anything like we did in the FA Cup game, I think we will win this. And, you know, Arteta's got to get it right tactically. Well, you look at, I think the only thing he's got to decide is who partners Rice and Odegaard in midfield, which will go through in my predicted 11. Everything else, I think, kind of picks itself, possibly between Martinelli and Trossard as well. But I think this is one purely on the players, really. Arteta has to pick his best team, obviously, and try to do his tactical work and find areas to attack Liverpool. But this is the one the players have to step up and make up for. You know, they dropped points against West Ham and Fulham, which is what's put us in a position where, you know, a lot of people probably would say if we lose this, the title's done. I personally don't think we can win the title now anyway, but if we win this, then we're right back amongst it. But the players have put themselves in a position where this becomes a really massive win, and it's only Feb, so we have to win it. And I think it is just going to be down to who wants it more, and we have to match Liverpool's fight, Liverpool's press, and we have to stamp our authority on the game and just win by hook or by crook. Just give absolutely everything for 90 minutes. The crowd's going to play a big part. I'm going to the game, luckily enough, so I'll be singing my absolute lungs off. And yeah, you know, it's just simply one where I think this is going to be, you know, some games are tactical and some games you're just better than the opponent. I think this is going to come down to purely wanting it more and emotion. I really do. I don't think there's going to be much give in this game. You know, Liverpool-Arsenal's the highest scoring Premier League fixture in history. So, you know, you'd expect goals. And the man I'm looking at who I think could have a really big game in this game would be Jesus. Like I said, against Forest, you saw the best and the worst of him. You know, very frustrating at times, but without Jesus, we don't win that game against Forest. You know, he took the goal and the assist, and he's got quite a good record against Liverpool as well from his time at Arsenal and City. Obviously, last season he won a penalty for us at the Emirates, and he scored away at Anfield. This season, no, he didn't do much this season, to be fair. Yeah, at the Anfield game, but overall his record is still very decent. So. And I think this is a game where we're going to need a lot from him because he's going to be up against two of the best centre-backs in the league in Konate and Van Dijk. Two, you know, man mountains, quick, strong, great in the air. So he's going to have to just cause chaos. He's going to have to play them in the right way, potentially coming deeper, nicking it off McAllister when he gets the ball, turning at him. And we're going to have to make sure that we time our runs from the wingers correctly. And I do think playing someone in midfield who can get up alongside him and help him will be an advantage on this. Maybe that's where Kai Havertz comes in. Or maybe Smith Rowe, who we did obviously see start against Forest, who I thought had an okay game. Didn't do anything special, and I think we all would like to have seen him really take that position by the scruff of the neck. But, you know, it is only his second start of the season. And, you know, it will take some time. I wouldn't be disappointed if Smith Rowe played on Sunday. When you looked at that team on paper against Forest, it was a great team, and I'd love Smith Rowe to really step up and make that position his own. I really would, but, you know, it's one where I think he might play Havertz to get, like I said, a body in and around Jesus, running off Jesus, to give them something more to think about. But it also wouldn't surprise me if Jorginho plays. So look, it'll be a very interesting game, definitely, and a very, very big game. There's not too much to say on it apart from it is a must win, and I do believe it will be one that's driven more by emotion than anything else. And I think Jesus will be big for this game because he's got the experience in these big games, in these title run-ins. He's played against Liverpool in title run-ins before. He scored important goals against them. He's assisted important goals against them, and I think he could be one to really look out for on Sunday, as well as whoever plays as our left winger, whether it's Trossard or Martinelli. Personally, I'd go with Martinelli, because against Trent, he does give him absolute nightmares going towards his own goals. You know, Trent can't really deal with Martinelli in a defensive sense. But Trent always plays really well against us. Like I said, he always gets a goal or an assist against us. His numbers against us is absolutely brilliant. So whoever plays on that side, he's going to have to do a job on him defensively as well as making sure we push him back the other way. And, you know, maybe the best way to defend against him is to make sure that, you know, you're constantly ripping him to pieces and sending him back towards his own goal. But with Konate on that side covering, it does make it a lot harder. But yeah, it's going to be a really intriguing game. Both teams, you know, on paper, it's very evenly matched. You could argue either or for a number of positions. And yeah, you know, it'll be Arteta's last game against Klopp, so let's go out on a win. So I'm just going to go into my predicted 11. Like I said, I think the team picks itself, really, apart from one or two positions. So I'll just steam through it. It'll be Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko. Zinchenko, I thought had a really, just going back to what I said about Jesus, we saw the best and the worst of him. I'd say the same with Zinch against Forest. I thought he was brilliant for most of the game. He was the one getting on the ball, you know, trying to make things happen, playing the passes, timing the passes right. But then at the end, when we want to keep that clean sheet, he gets caught out by being offside. And like I said, I'm not fully blaming him for it. I would blame more Saliba for that goal. But I just think if that's like Tomiyasu or maybe, it's hard to say Timber because we've not seen him enough. But if that's Tomiyasu or Timber, one, they're probably in line with the rest of their defenders, or they end up winning that header and stop it coming across goal. So, but unfortunately, we don't have any other options. Tomiyasu's still away, Timber's still injured, and I definitely wouldn't play Kivior. So Zinchenko will have a big role to play in terms of getting us dominating on the ball. Into midfield, so the two obvious ones will obviously be Rice and Odegaard. And then who partners them, and then therefore where does Rice play? I know I said it about the last game. I thought Jorginho should have come in, and he didn't. He didn't play against Forest. But in the FA Cup game, Jorginho and Rice and Odegaard did play as that midfield three, and I think for most of the game we dominated. And he does seem to trust Jorginho, in big games. So I think Jorginho will come in this time. And I know I've said this a few times and he hasn't. I think he'll come in and just look to get us dominating the ball and give Rice more of that licence to push forward and maybe run off Jesus, but maybe as well when Trent comes inside, be the man to press on him and stop him playing. So that's what I think he'll go with. But again, it really wouldn't surprise me if Havertz starts. Because you look at Anfield game, he started Havertz, and I would never have thought he would start Havertz, Rice and Odegaard away at Anfield, but he did. So he might do a similar thing and have Havertz running off Jesus to be that sort of like second striker. But I think he might just give it to Jorginho for this game where it's such a massive game and, you know, getting control of the ball and controlling the game, I think, will be massive. So I think he might just lean towards Jorginho. And then I think the front three will be Saka, Jesus and Martinelli. Like I said, mainly because Martinelli has that history against Trent where he just causes him problems time and time again. Trossard's cameo against Forest, he come on with about 10 minutes ago, I believe it was, and he was really good, really positive. Dribbling past them, held onto the ball when we needed to, when we was holding the game out. Again, wouldn't surprise me if he started, but I think for this game, I don't think Arteta will try and get too clever with it. I think he'll go with what he feels is his best team, even though if Martinelli's not having the best season. And I think he'll trust him for his experience of beating Trent 1v1 and getting us in areas. So that's what I think he'll go for. Predicted score. I mean, this is a really tough one. I managed to predict the Forest score right when I said 2-1. There's always goals in this game. I'd love to see Arsenal win, like just a 1-0 game. Arsenal win, dominant and defensively brilliant, but I just can't see that happening. We won 3-2 in this fixture last year. Jota worries me because he has a good record against us. I'm going to go 3-2 again, Arsenal. I do think Arsenal will win this. I think it'll be one of them. The crowd's right out for, the players are right out for, and I think we know how important it is, and it just feels like one of them games that Arsenal have to turn up in. And if we do win, it could kickstart another title challenge. If we lose, then it is 100% done, and we're just looking to secure top 4. So massive game. Like I said, I'll be there. I'll try and get some videos in and around the ground and some of the atmosphere in there. And yeah, big game. Come on, Arsenal. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys. I'll probably do my reaction on Monday then, because I won't get in from the Emirates until late. But yeah, let's hope for a massive 3 points. And hopefully City drop points around on Monday, but I doubt it. But yeah, have a good weekend, guys. And yeah, talk to you soon. Please do like, comment, and subscribe and share. And talk to you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.